Hi guys, Eric Gomez here, your career coach and recruiting strategist. I've placed hundreds of candidates at some of the most prestigious companies in the US. I'm here to give you all the best tips to answer the top 10 most common interview questions in 2020. My goal by the end of this video is that you will never be stumped by the most common interview questions. First off, before we get started on all the interview questions, I highly recommend that you write down the question and then write down your answer. You want to create a script for yourself and you want to practice that script over and over and over. Practice is really the key to mastering answering those common questions. So write out your answer and practice over and over and over. Okay, let's get started. Question number 1. Tell me about yourself. That question stumps so many people, and it is one of the most common questions asked in every interview. Now, that question is not wanting to know if you enjoy long walks on the beach or that your favorite movie is Mean Girls. What they want to know is about your career. You want to talk about your past, present, and future achievements. And what do I mean by that? So in the past, you want to discuss not what you did in a day-to-day, but more of what you accomplished while working at that job. What achievements did you have? What results did you create? What was your ROI? So they want to hear snippets of what you did in your previous companies leading up to your current company. And then your current company, you can be a little bit more thorough on what you're accomplishing, what you've created. And then you want to discuss about what you want to accomplish in your next company or what you're looking forward to working for this company you're interviewing for.
Make sure to bring the enthusiasm, the passion, the joy, and smile when you're
discussing about yourself. I know it could be a little bit awkward, but they want to feel it. They want to see the excitement of your achievements, your results, the ROI that you did in your previous career, in your current career, and maybe what you want to accomplish at this current job. And keep your communication concise. No rambling, get rid of the ums as much as possible. Keep your communication clear. Second question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This could be a tough question for some people because you don't want to go out and say, well, I see myself taking your job in 5 years, or I see myself being the CEO of the company in 5 years. Those are notable achievements. That's a great mindset, but what they're really just looking for is an answer that shows you have a growth mindset. What you want to do is you want to research a career path that is in line with your job over the next 5 years. And then you want to discuss it with the interviewer. For example, if you are applying for a junior marketing position, you want to share with the interviewer that you see yourself becoming a senior marketer in the next 5 years. So that's like an example of growth, going from a junior to a senior person over the next 5 years. Or maybe you're already a senior person and you share over the next 5 years you'd like to be a manager and manage teams. Those are growth paths that a company could see happen within the next 5 years. Question 3, what's your reason for leaving? A lot of people tend to talk a lot when answering this question, and it gives off the impression that they have to defend themselves. Less is more when answering this question. Whether you're fired, laid off, or you quit, or you decided to take a year-long sabbatical from work, less is more when answering this question. I recommend answering this question with one sentence. It could be something as simple as, I left my company because I'm looking for a company where I can grow. I felt stunned in my current position. Simple. Keep it simple. Or I'm looking for a company with a great culture. That's another way of answering it. Or I'm looking for a position that's closer to home. You don't have to give a lengthy explanation when answering this question. Keep it simple. Also, I want to share things you don't want to say. For instance, you don't want to say that your company that you're working at currently or that you just left was horrible, that they had a terrible manager or the culture was awful. The reason is you never want to badmouth your previous company. You never know if maybe the hiring manager had a previous colleague that worked there, or that they think you're going to talk bad about them. It never gives a good impression when you discuss bad things about your previous employer. Just don't even share it. Talk about what you're looking for in your next opportunity. And the last thing I recommend that you don't say is that the reason you're looking to leave is you're looking for more money. More money can create a red flag for a future employer. And the reason why is they think, oh, this person's just gonna leave in 3 months if they get a job that pays $5 more an hour, or $3 more an hour, or $10 more an hour. They have that fear that an employee that's only driven by money is gonna jump ship the minute they get a job offer that pays a little bit more. So never discuss your reason for leaving. It's just about money. Question number 4. What are your top 3 strengths? When answering this question, I always recommend people pick 3 strengths that are best suited for the job you're applying for. Some great answers should be focused around your soft skills, your education, your training, your talents, and experience, and explain why that strength is important. For instance, if I'm applying for a sales job, I might share that one of my top strengths is my excellent work ethic, which has allowed me to be in the top 5 salespersons of the year after year in my previous company. That's a phenomenal strength, and they would love to hear more about that. Question number 5. What are your top 3 weaknesses? This seems to be one of the hardest questions for people to answer. And when people hear it, they just
melt and they're like, oh my goodness, I knew it was coming, but I was unprepared. I'm just gonna ramble on and hopefully I nail it.
That's not what you want to do. Please do not do that. Okay, my recommendation is you keep the answers short. The reason they ask this question is they want to make sure that you know the areas that you have to improve on, and they want to hear that you're improving on those areas. That's why it's such a powerful question, is that you're able to give feedback to yourself and say, oh my goodness, my organization skills are not that good. I get to work on my organization skills, and these are the steps I've done towards working on my organization skills. I'm gonna give you some examples on what you can share on top 3 weaknesses. One example that I've shared in the past is I would forget to take lunches. I would be in the zone, I would work 6 hours, 7 hours straight, and then I would totally forget I didn't eat a lunch. And by 8 hours have passed, still no lunch, still no break. And I realized what would happen is by the end of the day, I would have a headache. And so in order for me to improve on that, I would block out at least 30 minutes so that I could take my lunches. And sometimes I forget and I'm just trying to get my projects done on time, but it's something I've continued to improve on. That's a great example of a weakness, but something that people would actually like to hear, that you have a really good work ethic in the same process. Another one you could say is you have difficult time asking for help. And in this year, in 2020, you've improved on that by reaching out to your team, help on a project, which in result has increased productivity for not only yourself, but for your team as well, and a collaboration with you and your team asking for help. Or you can mention is you have a difficult time with work-life balance. You have a passion for your career, you love your career, and in result, it's created this difficult work-life balance for spending time with your family or doing volunteer work. And so you can mention one of the things you've worked at is putting volunteer hours, putting time with your family on your calendar, and so that you're still spending time with those family members. That is really crucial, but you're showing that you're still really passionate about what you're creating at your career. Question 6. What is your salary expectations? The reason why employers ask this question is they just want to know what you're looking to make. I always recommend you tell your employer what you're looking to make. Now, if you have a concern that if you share with them, it might be too high of a price and it might take you out of the role because you're too expensive, then let them know, I'm looking for X amount of money, but I am flexible depending on the full package and benefits. And that way they hear that you're flexible, that there's an opportunity, and if they really like you, they'll still consider you, they'll still make you an offer, and they'll think about maybe that their benefits and full package that they have is something that would entice you enough, even if the salary is not too big of a bump or maybe a little lateral in pay, but what they offer is so much more. Question 7, what do you know about the company? When I've asked that question in the past, some of the answers I've gotten have been unbelievable. Some people have given me a history lesson from when the company started in 1970 and given me each year of achievements, of accomplishments. While it's notable that you've done so much research on the company, you're overdoing it. They just want to know that you've read the About Us, that you've looked up the core values, that maybe you know the CEO or some recent notable achievements. They're just checking that you actually know the company you're interviewing for. They don't want a history lesson. So like I mentioned, look in the About Us page, look up the CEO. If you know the interviewer's name, look that person up too, maybe see about their background. But when you're researching the company, the About Us page typically has a lot. I even do Wikipedia a lot when I'm looking up a bigger company. There's tons of information on Wikipedia for bigger corporations, but those are some examples where you can find out about the company. Bonus tip, if you see the company has core values, I would bring up the core values and share how their core values correlate to who you are. Some companies have core values of be a team player and give an example of how that resonates for you of being a team player, or creating smiles. I've seen a core value where it's creating smiles. Give an example of you've created smiles in your previous work environment. So that's a bonus pro tip if you can correlate a company's core values to something that you've done in your previous company. Question number 8, why should we hire you? I love that question. This is your opportunity to pitch yourself. The questions typically should be 1 to 2 minutes long when answering it, but this is your perfect opportunity to share your achievements, the results you've created in your previous company, your personality traits, that you're passionate, you have high energy, you're a great team player. I love this question. Make sure when you're speaking about your achievements, your results, your traits, your character traits, that you're explaining it towards the job you're applying toward. Also, you can use your strengths that you mentioned in the previous question as a way to answer this question as well. So don't be afraid to share again some of your top 3 strengths and bring that into your pitch on why they should hire you. Question number 9, describe a difficult work situation and how you solved it. What they're looking for in this question is someone that's a problem solver. So they want to hear a difficult situation that you had in a previous work environment. Everyone's had one, and how you resolved it. What was the long-term solution you created, not a short-term fix, and they want to hear all about it. So this is your perfect opportunity to give an example of solutions that you create in your work environments. Here's an example. So I work as an IT recruiter. So my example is going to be towards the IT, but I'm going to generalize it to the point that you understand. So let's say a junior IT person was asked that question, describe a difficult situation and how you solved it. This is what I would say. I got a call from one of our employers. He was upset that his internet kept going out. So what did I do? I went over to his desk. I saw he was on the same floor, so I headed that way and saw that his Ethernet cable was unplugged and it was right next to his foot. And so what I did is I rerouted the Ethernet cable so that his foot wouldn't be able to hit it anymore, which actually created a solution, a long-term solution. A short-term solution would have been he just plugged it in right away and it would have still been in range of his foot and he kept kicking it. That is a very, entry-level example of how to answer that, but everyone's position is different. Their problems that they deal on a day-to-day is different, so you want to just write it down of a difficult problem you've had and how you solved it, and think in your mind as an answer when solving it, is that a long-term solution? And don't be afraid to run it by someone and say, hey, do you think that the problem I was dealing with and the solution I came up with it is long-term, is notable, that the company would be pretty impressed with what I created? So run it by someone. That's what I recommend. Question 10. Do you have any questions for me? When an interviewer asks that question, the answer is always yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. I love that question. This is your opportunity to learn more about the company, your future boss, the position. You want to ask questions when you get the opportunity. Here are some example questions that I would recommend. Ask them what brought them to the company. That's a great question to ask, that you can learn about what brought them, what's great about the company, what excited them coming over. It's an open-ended question that gives you a lot of opportunity to gain insight on the company. Or ask them about the role. What does an ideal candidate look like to you in this position? Another question that you can ask is, what does a successful candidate look like in the first 90 days for you? These were some sample questions that I thought would be useful for you, but you have to make sure that you ask questions. If you don't ask questions, it can give off an impression to the interviewer that you're not interested in the role. So please ask questions. And the bonus question, which is my favorite question, why haven't you hit the like and subscribe button? This is your opportunity right now. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. Please hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. I'm gonna be coming out with a new video every single week here in 2020. And comment down below, what other videos would you like me to do it on? Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.